and harmonizing with nature. With over 4 decades of changing lives, your self-discovery archaeologist, get ready to be the best of you with your host, Beverly Zymet.
Hello and welcome to the Beverly Zymet Show, where being the best you has just gotten easier. My guest today is calling in from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm telling you, she is the lemonade queen, because she's going to take all your lemons and turn them into the best tasting lemonade you've ever had. So, with due diligence, welcome Michelle Faust, the lemonade legend.
Thank you so much, Beverly. It's such a pleasure to be here. And that was a pretty fun introduction there. So,
Hey, we like to have fun on this show. We really do. You know, if you can't lighten it up and have fun, what can you have, right?
ah, without a doubt, gotta have some humor. Yeah,
Oh, well, they say laughter is the best medicine.
it is.
And you know what? I don't lack that. And I have an ability to take a sourpuss like you take lemons and turn them into a smiley face.
Hey, you got that. I can make a lemonade out of just about anything.
So it's an intriguing message that you have. How did that come into birth?
Actually, kind of by accident, to tell you
Okay.
the truth. It was sort of a purposeful accident. We'll call it that. About a year ago, a little more than a year ago, I was thinking about putting my story out there. I felt like, anyways, you need to read the book to figure out what my story is. But I was feeling very, very, I don't know, confident, and I use the word fearless because I was just stepping into new, um, different zones, like way out of my comfort zone, and
Okay.
I was doing it, and I have some issues, some disabilities. I can't hear.
Oh,
I'm
I would have
very
never guessed
deaf,
that,
but
but
I
okay.
I
Yeah.
have quite a hearing loss. So, anyways, you read the book to figure it out. But so I felt fearless, and I wanted to share that message. I wanted to put it
Sure.
out there. I didn't feel like I had an entire book, in me. That would people read an entire book about me? I don't know. And, to put a book out properly, it's not inexpensive either. So it's an investment. So anyways, long story short is I ended up doing an anthology because I was podcasting at the time,
Okay.
meeting powerful, inspiring women who had amazing stories behind them.
Sure.
And so then I thought, well, maybe I could get women to join in and we can do this as a collaborative, which also spreads the money around a little bit and
Exactly.
get easier to do. So that's what we set out to do. And I have to tell you, I had no idea it was going to turn into the experience it did. First of all, I bonded with these women. Like, these are lifelong friends now,
Right.
and we connected, we support each other. They're just amazing. But the engagement that the book created, and people saying, I love what you're doing. I love that you are sharing, people's stories. And when I also saw the impact of sharing your story,
Right.
the healing, the self growth, that was occurring,
Right.
I just thought, I think I found my purpose in the world. It was that impactful putting out that first book,
That's
and
great.
so I just kept going from there. So I created a Facebook group to kind of be, for all the people who were engaging and wanting to, look at it as a lemonade movement kind of thing.
That's cool.
Um, I mean, it's not a new idea, but just like it's kind of a fun way to present it because
Yeah.
I get so cheesy with, the whole lemon thing. And, I've got a yellow wall behind me. I've got a little vase of lemons and
I
orange.
notice your little lemons over there.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? It's
I
that's
go off on.
living your truth, living your belief in what you do, and it reminds me of how you were describing your book as the same thing that Jack Canfield did, right?
Yeah.
When they created, what is it, Food for the Soul or something for
Chicken soup for the soul.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's Chicken Soup for the Soul, right? So it's like, well, you know what? Here we have lemonade out of lemons, right? And it's
Yep.
so true what you say, that the inspiration and the connection, and I'm finding the same identical thing by doing this show with the women, and the few men that have come on the show, but the bonding and the support, and I know there's going to be some lifelong connections and friendships that come out of this. There's joint adventures already in the making. It was
Excited.
it's overly exciting, because it is that collaboration of coming together, and we all have a message. However you get that message out, right? You're getting that message out in your podcasting. You're getting that message out today. You're getting that message out in your book, in your magazine, in your groups, all these different formats, right? We all have a little different engagement, but you know what? That's what makes us grow. And coming together in a collaboration, whether it's on an interview show like this, whether it's on a social media connection, whether it's a referral, it's that coming together. And this whole social distancing thing that's been going on for the last, 6 weeks now, I think is actually starting to bring people even closer together, right? Because it's bringing them together on a different level.
It is.
Right? Because now we have time to sort through things that we didn't have or didn't make the time to, right? And getting into that inner essence of who we are. And now finding and discovering and revealing some different things and facing some of the false truths. It's like, oh my goodness, who am I going to be walking out there? Who am I going to be different because I am different? And I've had several people, call me and say, I am not the same person. I am so different. It's like, I don't know how people are going to receive me when I get out of this, right? And I think that is,
to bring it down to such a simple level, it's kind of like we're all working in our jammies or yoga pants, but we weren't working. I mean, we were putting our work clothes on before, and
right.
or are we showering every day? I mean, it's really kind of crazy. It's like, why would we do anything different than we would if we were not in quarantine? But truth is, we are doing
exactly. I think it almost shows that we do have a lazy side to us, right?
Oh yes.
Right? And sometimes
Don't even go there with
that
me.
doesn't oh, did you really have to say that, Beverly? Right? What do you mean I'm lazy? It's like, oh yeah, some days I am, right? But again, it's like, so coming on a show like this, you only have to kind of fix the upper half of yourself, so you don't have to worry about the rest of it, right?
I know. I have a closet full of pants and skirts and things that I haven't worn in 6 weeks. But
Right.
wearing all my my top, my earrings, I put makeup on, and so it is kind of a facade, really, if you think about
Well,
it. I mean,
it is, and when you look at that word that you said, facade, how many of us have been walking around for the majority of our life living a facade, living a lie of not being true to your own self? How many, and I comment out there, just say, that be me, right, have been living and going on with life in a job or a position that you totally despise, but you stay there because of the paycheck, right?
the
Or the
benefits.
status or the benefits, exactly right. Gosh, if I go over here, I'm not going to have my health insurance, or I'm not going to, right? If I start my own, I'm not going to, right? So we build this comfort zone around us. That's a predictable misery that we know the outcome of, that we have convinced ourselves is who we are. So the facade word that Michelle just said. Whoa. Talk about a punch in the gut there, Michelle. Thank you very much. Right? Seriously? So this is your lemonade. This is your lemon. Right? So that punch, she just punched you with the lemon, guys. Yeah, blame it on her, okay? Don't blame it on me. That was her, right? Well, I'm going to play the blame game this time. But it's so true, Michelle. It's so true. So when you're talking with people, whether it's friends or clients or people you just met, do you start to see some of where the pieces of them are facade and not real, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, most definitely. It doesn't take me long to peel back some layers when I'm talking to people.
Squirt that little sour lemon in their mouth.
Yeah, I torture them with the bitter lemon.
Ooh, she's a torturer. Ooh, she's sadistic. Watch out.
So I'll tell you. So I mean, I introduced the thing. I do have a profound hearing loss, and I do not wear hearing aids because I've never been able to get them to really work well for me.
Right.
But I learned to read lips. I learned to read body language. I learned to feel very connected. I listen to people. I can't get distracted. That has really allowed me to develop a really unique way of building relationships. I mean, unique in that I really connect with people. I have to. It's the only way I can carry on the conversation. So it's really hard to hide from me, because I can detect. It's like,
so I gotta look at you. You look me in the eye here. You got that? Look me in the eye. I need to read these lips, right? But
people open up to me easily because they want to find somebody who's not going to be judgmental, who they can be themselves with. So it's liberating for them to go ahead and just kind of fess up, so to speak. You know what?
And that is a great thing. That is a great asset to have. You made a statement here. I learned to listen, to pay attention. And you're watching body language, you're watching, the lips move and all this kind of stuff. And this is something, listen up here, guys out there in the audience, comment below. Where are you on the scale of 1 to 10? Listening, 100% is 10. Maybe not so much down at 1. And this is something that we can always learn, how to become a good listener. Hear what's being said, hear what's not being said, but listen and stay in the moment of the conversation instead of chasing yourself out here thinking you know what is going to be said and racing ahead of the game and missing what's being said. So you have taken this lemon of maybe not hearing as good as some of us others that we have, that I don't know what you call it, 20/20 sight. Is it 20/20 hearing? I don't know, right? But let's just for all intents and purposes, let's say, okay, so most of us are born with 20/20 hearing. So here we have Michelle over there at, say, 5/5 hearing, okay? So she has learned what the power of listening really means. She doesn't take it for granted.
That's exactly spot on.
Right? So we can learn a lot from this beautiful woman here who has taken that 5/5 lemon and turned it into lemonade that can help you understand the importance of paying attention and listening in the moment. In the moment. And body language is so key. So here's this 20/20 vision you have. You have 2 ears, you have 2 eyes, you have 1 mouth. Pay attention in what you see. Listen to exactly, without racing yourself ahead, listen to what's being said. Take a deep breath and then speak. Right? Right?
I promise you will make a profound difference.
Yeah.
in your relationships and how you connect with people. And here's the thing, if I can give a really good example from my life. So I ended up kind of falling into a great opportunity. I was a pharmaceutical rep for 20 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
before I jumped off into the entrepreneurial world. Um, Really challenging place to be when you can't hear well.
Oh, okay. All right, share that with
but
us. This sounds
but
interesting.
here's the short version of it. Okay, I didn't fit in like all the other pharma reps did. They were all like beautiful, young. I was 37 when I got into the industry. It was all beautiful, 20 something. They spent a ton of money on their hair, their makeup, the guys, their suits, $300 shoes. I was raising two kids as a single mom. I didn't dress like that. Again, facade.
Right.
They were painting a picture of themselves. I was one of the most successful reps out there. I won award after award after award. I won all the sales trips.
Right.
All of them. You know why?
Because you
Because
paid
I was the one
attention.
that walked in. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
paying attention. I walked in to the doctor's office and I listened and I paid attention. And if I read the body language was like, this is not a good time to talk to him, I'd say, you know what? Let me come back next week. This doesn't look like a good time. And they were so grateful for that.
Sure.
I was the one when the boss was tagging along to like, write up your view of how you do.
Right.
Yeah. So I was the one that would look at the body language or hear what was coming out of the doc's mouth, and I'd look over at my boss and I'd say, "We have to get out of here," you know, because this is not sitting well with this doctor. You know,
Right.
those are the things that help develop a relationship because I always had to go back into that office. It was never a one-shot deal.
Exactly.
So yeah, and so what happened? I wasn't anything like all my colleagues, but I was rocking it.
Well, exactly. And they were probably all jealous. What's this old lady doing here that we're not doing?
And in the end, I got fired because I was the old lady. I mean, how ironic is that? It didn't matter what my sales results were.
which is
It,
really
it,
sad. That is so sad.
yeah, it is so sad. So we had this brand new manager come in, and he wants to have his team be, like these little rock stars, but in image only, really.
Right. Yeah, go
Yeah.
out there and flash your you know what and you know what, right? And then
Yep.
they'll buy anything.
Yep.
I was in an industry, in the automotive industry in the 80s, and back then women in the automotive industry was not heard of. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
was in the paint and body industry, car repair and stuff. But by the time that 9 years ended, I was in the mechanical end, I was in the detail end, I was in the nuts, bolts, and clips, I was in, the whole sandpaper, everything. And my business built so fast because I got the respect of the guys.
Mhm.
Now, can I flirt? Yeah. You had that innocent flirtation and whatever, but I built, like you said, that connection because I heard what they were asking. And then they respected me because I went past what the other salespeople were coming in. I also had an advantage because I was a wagon jobber, meaning that my truck was sitting out front, and all I had to do was open up the store door, and there it was, right? But they started coming to me because they trusted me
Mhm.
for consulting, and that kind of got me started into years later when I went into the business that I'm in now. They would ask me, it's like, Beverly, can I ask you a question? It's like, yeah, sure, what? And it's like, my girlfriend or my wife, right? And I saved so many marriages, it was unbelievable, right? Because seriously, and it's like, I don't know what to do because I said, well, okay, you do this and you do this and you do this. That's all you need to do. And they look at you like deer in the headlight, right? I was like, what? And I said, what do you got to lose? What you're doing now ain't working. Well,
Exactly.
okay, that's true. So they did. I come back that next week and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked. It was like insane, right? And she's been so much nicer, and this and that and all this stuff. And it's like, that's when you pay attention to see what's being said below the actual words that you see. Watch her body language. Ask her, okay, now what really do you want, honey? Because I'm all ears. I'm all yours, 100%. That's what she wants. She doesn't want you to go buy her all these brand new cars and jewelry and all this stuff. She wants you to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Just to be present sometimes. Not speaking. Just go up and just hold her. Right? You know, if you're sitting there, TV's on or whatever, move over to the same position. You know, if it's a chair or the couch, squeeze in there and just cuddle up. And continue watching the movie and don't speak a word. You know, so again, it goes back into that listening, as you said, Michelle. What is it you're not hearing that the body language is speaking so loud and clear? And that's what makes your business grow. That's what makes your connection grow. That's what sets you aside from everyone else. That's how you make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Yep. So true. You're speaking my language. I love it, Beverly. I'm like eating all this up because there is so much truth in what you're saying. But I have to bring up the point that this is also what I do. It's about storytelling too, and it's about sharing the story. And so they are the lemon to lemonade stories. So you have to make your own lemonade. I'm not really making the lemonade. I'm finding these beautiful places you can share your lemonade story. But there's so much power in that. And you just said it, Beverly, when you were saying this is how you make your business grow and et cetera. Because when you start sharing yourself, who you are, your authentic, vulnerable self, people will be attracted to that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. And so it's really it's the power of influence, of how you become an influencer, because you are the one who is willing to be courageous and brave enough to put your story out there, to share.
That's right. That's right.
And to say, I'm not perfect. I get it. Yeah, I don't want to be perfect. Right. And I am seeing that it is very powerful to have that mindset, because people just resonate with that.
Right.
They want to know that you are the real you. Just as when you're advising these husbands, just go be with her. Don't be this persona of a husband buying jewelry or whatever.
Right.
Be you. It's the same personal relationships as it is in business relationships.
It's so true, because you sell yourself every day. That's one of the things that just blows my mind, right? When you talk to someone about, you know, getting, like, especially in a network marketing type of business, right? And the first thing that comes out of probably 90% of the people's, I'm not a salesperson, right? It's like, excuse me? What? I mean, you're selling yourself every single day, right? Every single day. Every word that comes out of your mouth, every movement that your body makes, you are selling yourself. You know, so don't kid yourself that you're not in sales. It's how do you market that sales, you know, story. And, you know, when I first started sharing my story, you know, my journey of really getting my act together and getting my true identity back. I mean, I'd totally been to the point where I had no identity other by association. Oh, yeah, you're so-and-so's mom. Oh, yeah, you're the person that writes for the newspaper or whatever. I had no identity. It's like, wait a minute, I have a name. I think I still have a name, right? You know, and I had 3 kids. I was in a dead-end marriage. I mean, I was not living my life the way it was, right? And I was so full of anger and hate, and I didn't even want to be on the planet anymore. So for me to share my story of being on the edge of suicide, right? To share that, because again, you look at the guilt and the shame and all of this stuff that you're going through, and to really get your it together, you know what I'm saying? Right? And to make that first move of recognizing, hey, Houston, you got a major problem going on here, right? Right? And that takes a lot to step up to that. And then to acknowledge that everything that's been going on in my life is, here's this word, facade. But it was a truth because of what the database of information that I used to create that false truth now was a truth when I created it, because it's all I knew. But it was running on this autopilot that was driving me totally to the edge, because that's not who I am.
Exactly.
And it took losing that identity and
Your
try to
spirit-
come back from it.
Yeah, your spirit and inner self will always drive you in the direction of who you are.
Right. But you gotta listen. You gotta listen. Again, it goes back to listen. Listen to yourself.
Yep. Listen to yourself, trust yourself, love yourself.
That's right. You know, and so to move away from it, and again, with all the anger and hate that I had, guess what else I did? I blamed it on everybody out there, including God. Okay? Because the night I went off on my little adventure to figure out how I was going to make my exit, because I had 3 kids I was leaving back under the age of 5, right? It's like, okay, I got to do this in a manner that looks accidental. I mean, because I'm a strategist, you know. I really am. You know, I'm an instigator, so I could figure all this out, right? And justify it in my own mind. So I decided I was going to give God a piece of my mind. Which at the time I thought I was talking to God, but later in life when I started learning, you know, the different things in the spiritual world, that it was actually my higher self.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm telling you, did I give what I thought at that time a piece of my mind? And let me tell you, I could have a trucker's mouth when I wanted to. All right? So you can imagine. But all that anger started pouring out and pouring out and pouring out and pouring out to the point I totally exhausted myself. You know, I was yelling and screaming and kicking and throwing rocks. I mean, I was out in the country, so I could go. The only person of ears that could hear me were the cornfields, okay? Right? Seriously. And so and we're going into midnight here, so there's nobody out there, right? And all of a sudden, with that exhaustion that I felt, and I was crying so hard I could hardly even catch my breath, this voice says, "Are you done?" And I said, "Yes." That was my first aha moment of surrender. Now the battle inside stopped. I won my first war. Right? And then it's like, okay. And then the voice goes, "Who's going to take care of your kids when you're not here?" Well, that slaps you back into reality. And I heard my dad's voice. I'm the second oldest of 11 kids. Okay. Now I was 21 before I had my first kid, so it's not like I was 16. Right? I was 21. And my dad said, "Okay, if you're going to have these kids, know that you're the one that has to take care of them. Because your mother and I have plenty of our own, because there was 11 of us." Right? So when my higher self says that, thinking it was coming from God, says this, I heard that voice. And a lot of my anger was directed towards my father. And whose voice do I hear first? The strong message, right? Again, listening. And then it was like, oh crap. That means I have to stick around for a long time. They're all under the age of 5. This ain't fair, right? So I did my little yelling again, right? And then I said, okay, fine. If I have to stick around, then let's make a deal. This was a TV show that was on back in the days, you know, with Monty Hall. Let's make a deal, right? So it's like, fine.
Yeah.
Being the strategist that I am, I said, then fine, let's make a deal. And the voice goes, okay. I said, all right, so this is what I want. I want out of this dead-end marriage. I want out of Iowa. I want this. I want this. I want this. I had a list, like a mile long. And I said, so what do you got to say to that? This was me back then. And the voice goes, okay. What?
Deal.
It's like, what? It's like, so, oh, crap. Okay, so how do I do this? Then I hear mind over matter. Now, I'm telling you, in the 70s, there was nothing available like there is today. Mm-hmm. Right? And so it's like mind over matter. What the heck is that? I have no clue what you're talking about, right? And so the first message I got was to go live your life as if it were you and your kids. Oh, I can do that, no problem, because I was already doing that. I just did it at a different level. That was the start of me paying attention to me and putting this right, because I knew if I didn't get my crap together, my kids were going to be the one that suffered. And why should they suffer from my anger and my screwed up, you know, uh, uh, um, interpretations of things that happened in my childhood, right? And all of things started coming together, and I found myself getting a divorce, moving out of Iowa. You know, we lived in a little town, right? We're this country living, right? Of like, I think 100 people counting cats and dogs, right? And moved to the big city of Denver, Colorado. Woo! You know, talk about extremes, right?
Big time.
Big time, right? And that was in '79, and you know, and it was me and my kids, right? And then, you know, I mean, they were 8, 9, and 10 at the time, so to uproot them from everything that they knew in that small arena to this huge way of living, city living, right? I mean, huge. It was like, you know, the conversation again, and it's listening and paying attention to what it is that your kids are saying, you know, and it's like, you know, this is you and mom, because if we're going to make it, it's us, you know. Where we were and what we were living in is not how I want to have you guys grow up. You know, this arguing, this fighting, and all of this, you know, and I started to stop a lot of that. I would walk away from it. This is not how a family unit works. Right. So we're going to make it the best, you know. And they, at first, they were kind of excited about it, but then they weren't too sure about it. But it was like, you know, you got to be here with me. And so for now, it's going to be us. You can do one or two things. Buckle down, make the best of the situation, get an education, figure out what you want to do with your life, enjoy what we have here, make it an adventure together, because we're in this together, right? And then when you graduate and you want to go back to Iowa, boom, have at it. You can go anywhere you want, do anything you want, right? No questions asked. Or you can fight it, argue, run away, get into drugs, get into trouble. That's your choice. But I want you to remember, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. Whichever decision you choose to make, remember one key thing. The only person that is going to benefit or hurt is you. Not me, not anybody else out in the world, just you. That's your choice. I'll tell you, it was the hardest conversation I ever had with my kids, you know. And thank God they all took the first choice. And I've got beautiful kids, beautiful grandkids, beautiful great-grandkids, you know. And you know what? None of them went back to Iowa.
I didn't even have to ask you that. I knew they didn't go back to Iowa.
You know, so again, it's where you are in life. And what are you going to do about it? And paying attention. And again, we go back into that asset of listening. Yep. Listening to the messages that are spoken, but more intently, listen to the unspoken messages. And that's kind of where I've taken my business, is becoming aware of all the messages that are presented to you that cross your path every day, in nature, in people, in animals, in the wind, in the fire, whatever it is. There is a message in everything. Pay attention. So what you've done in creating that listening thing with your lemons and lemonade, I just so love. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's so refreshing to kind of hear what I'm doing and what my method, my thought process, my mindset, can hear it come back. from another person. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like
do, yeah.
really reflecting it back to me. And I'm like going, I'm sitting there going, yeah, yeah, you go. You tell them that. But the other thing is, who wouldn't be attracted to want to know you more and want to do business with you after hearing all that? It's like, wow, she's so positive and she like took this crappy situation and made it like a really good. She told it like it is. She's not afraid to tell it like it is. Who wouldn't say, Beverly, I want to know you better, you know? And that's really what I'm all about. I think you not only need to listen to learn the lesson,
Right.
but you need to share it.
I think that's probably
That's
the
not universe.
hardest thing, right, for people to share that story. Because I remember the first time I actually spoke that out loud
Yeah,
was like, oh my God. And again, we have this thought: how is that person on the other side of listening going to
yeah,
respond? Because again, you know, we don't want to be judged. We want to be accepted. We don't want to be finger pointed. And it was amazing. And I'm sure you have found this, as well. The more you tell your story, the more people respond and say, oh my God, you get me. You get me. Oh my God, this is so true. This is so true. If you can do this, so can I. That's right. And that, I think, is what brought us all together. And I think this is the movement that's happening with women today. With women today who are supporting one another, that are really paying attention to say, yes, get that story out there, because you know what? You're going to save somebody else's life.
yep.
And it happens all the time.
I
All
see
the
it
time.
happen all the time. Yes,
Right.
without a
Right.
doubt. Without a doubt. It's just, it's incredible. And you're giving me chills right now, but because it is so
Well, yeah, yeah.
feels like so amazing. And I'm just like, yeah, come on, Beverly, let's go. We got to move again.
Yeah, we darn straight we do, Red. Come on, we got a lot of following here. We got a team. And I think the situation in the world today, because it is a global pandemic sort of thing, it's a toxin that needed to be eliminated.
Yeah,
And it's connected to the toxic thoughts, the toxic way we've been living life, the toxic debris that we've created on the planet itself, right? You know, this is cleanup time, but the cleanup starts here,
yeah, it does.
right? So let's all start drinking lemonade, okay? Right? Is that a deal?
That's it.
Right? So, hey, comment below. Are you ready to drink lemonade? If you're ready to drink lemonade, say lemonade for everybody. Comment below. We want to hear this, right? We want to hear your story. Are you ready to tell your story? Because if you are, you're going to have to get a hold of me. PM me. We're going to get you on the show. PM Michelle over here. She's got a podcast show. She's got a pro show that she's coming out with, right? We're going to get your story out there so that it can impact the world and make a difference. Because we're all one, right? We're all one.
Well, we are and we aren't. So what just popped into my mind is we are conditioned
Yes.
for that herd mentality. Let's go along like everybody else. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I'll be part of the herd. Well, if the herd goes over the cliff, are you going to go? You're going to follow it? You know, um, so we are one in a sense, but we need to separate ourselves out too. We need to
Yes. Yeah.
identify who we are,
We're all
and
one, but we're individual. Yeah.
which is a little outside of the herd.
That. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And so, and I know that really what you're saying, that we're all in this together, but we're all uniquely us.
That's a
And
cool word. Uniquely us. And again, it's finding out that uniqueness of who you are, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I was filling out a questionnaire for a magazine article or something. Anyway, one of the questions was, they just complete this sentence, and it just started out, my family, dot, dot, dot. My family. is uniquely imperfect, and that's why I love them.
Oh my gosh! Now you talk about chills. Whoa! Say that again. Uniquely
Imperfect.
imperfect. Whoa! You know, I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. I love that. I just love that because you know what? That is so true because we are unique and we aren't perfect. So, oh my goodness.
And I think the sooner we embrace that about ourselves and our fellow people, because not only do we want to empower ourselves to share our stories, but the other side of that is we can't be judgmental
Right.
of other people who are sharing of themselves because it's
Right.
their story, their life. That's who they are.
Honor that. Honor that, right? Because and again, it goes in here. When you can honor your story, right?
Yep.
And you can respect who you are, it becomes second nature to honor that other person and to respect them for who they are in their, like you said, uniqueness. Because this show is all about what? Being the best you that you can be. So every step of the way is becoming a better you. And when you can start to recognize and acknowledge that, hey, I do have an imperfection in here, right? It's time to get rid of it. Get out of the conflict, get out of the facade, face your fear,
Yeah.
and get on with life. Right? Don't keep looking in your rear view mirror. Because if you keep looking back there, you're never going to see what's ahead. You're never
Yeah.
going to actually see what's right in front of you in the now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So true. I'm all fired up.
This See, I told you you ain't gonna get sad on this show, right?
I'm gonna go out and save the world right now, okay?
Okay, what's the first thing you're gonna do when you go out there and save the world?
But I do think it boils down to sometimes it is that simple.
It
Love,
is.
love ourselves. Let's love our fellow people. Let's be kind
Yep.
and let all the pieces fall into place. I really think it's that simple, but it's
Yeah.
that hard too because people don't want to let go.
Well, when you look at simple, we have the other side of the word simple. Easy.
Yeah.
Right? It's simple, not necessarily easy. But if you don't start taking the steps into action, action's going to happen. Change is going to happen. Whether you go with it or not, it's going to keep on going. And then you're going to say, oh, where'd the world go? Right? It's like, where'd everybody go? Oh my goodness. I better catch up. Right? What do I need to do to catch up? Right? And it's not that stuff you squeeze out of a bottle. Okay? So, again, recognize this comfort zone first. Recognize this comfort zone. What in this comfort zone is predictable? When you can discover the predictability of what is in that comfort zone, now you need to say, what can I do to change my predictability to unpredictability and start moving forward? Right?
Yeah. And saying the same thing in a little bit different way. When I said I was fearless, I felt so fearless, at
Sure.
one point. I recognized that there is no such thing as being fearless because fear is inherent in our lives. It's going to be there. It's what you do with that fear.
That's right.
You can never be fearless, but you can have a fearless attitude and you can have a fearless mindset. And typically what I see, is have a vision.
Oh, that is so key. That is
What's
so
in
key.
front of you because that will help you conquer the fear because you have to make the vision more important than the fear.
Yeah, because when you again we look at the dual world, right? We have love and we have fear. So everything on fear is the negative charge, right? That's the fuel. And then you have on the right side, you have the positive charge, okay? So what you need to do, so here's your positive charge, which is your goal or your dream, right? And over here, you have the fuel of the negative charge. When you put the negative charge here, which now you stand in your fear, you stand in it, and you put on top of it the outcome that you're seeking, that dream, that goal, that vision. That fear will drive you to reach it. However, if you don't believe in that dream or that vision with every cell of your body, what's going to happen is going to go flip, and the fear is going to drive your dream where? Into that black hole of nothingness. There's your choice.
That visual. I'm stealing that from you.
Okay, you can have that one. I'll share. But you see,
I mean, that just showed it so perfectly. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's not about the positive negative charges being right or wrong. It's the fuel. Because a positive charge and a negative charge fuel. I mean, you have electrical current, right? With these lights in your home. You know, with everything, that's electrical. This whole opportunity to be here, talking like we are, is done by a positive and negative charge put together to create the visual, the audio, the ability to transmute it from point A to point B, right? All of that's done through positive, negative charge. Not good or bad or right or wrong. So when we learn how to use those charges to our advantage, we move forward. When we use them to our disadvantage, we move backwards. Right? So be focused in the now. Understand the negative, positive charges and where you want to go with that ultimate vision of lemonade, right? Of lemonade. Go out there and practice eating a lemon. Woo! Oh, I can hear everybody's mouth is just like watering now, right? Because like, oh no, you didn't just say that, did you, Beverly? It's like, yeah, I did. I love eating lemons. When you can eat a lemon and not have your mouth turn and make, and your face make all these funny little directions, right? When you can eat that lemon and enjoy it, everything in life becomes a lemonade. Right?
And, there's little known facts about lemons, but there's a healing quality about lemon.
Right.
And, we all know, put some lemon in, your glass of water, drink that down, it's very cleansing. But it's even more than, folklore would say put 4 lemon wedges in each corner of your room, and it will create positive energy, around.
I hadn't heard that. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So, I don't know what the truth is of it, but what the heck?
Can't hurt.
I'll put them in every corner of my house. But you're right. So what you said was lemons are going to happen. They are part of our life.
Right.
Embrace them. Eat them.
That's right. And the more you eat them, the less sour they get. When you talk about squeezing lemon into water, when I was in the automotive industry, we talked about making water wetter. And I never really understood what that meant. But when you're mixing paint to put on a vehicle, again we have a magnetic charge, and it comes from the acid alkaline. Right. So when you squeeze lemon into water, lemon is not acid, and neither is lime. A lot of people think, well, I can't. That's acid. It's gonna no. What the lemon does that really benefits the body when you put it in water is it makes the water wetter, which then changes the electrical charge so that it crosses the blood-brain barrier into the cell and carries with it the nutrition that it needs, pushes out the toxin. So it makes your water absorbable so that you can then hydrate your body, because you are like, well, some say, anywhere from 75 to 85% water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want it to absorb, and I do a testing, and it's an energy testing, and so many people show dehydration or extreme dehydration, and this, well, I don't even like the taste of water, right? So they think drinking coffee or lemonade or anything that has water in it is the same. It's not. It's not. So start squeezing that lemon in your water so it hydrates yourself, and you're going to really start enjoying the taste of lemon. And if you take hot water and lemon and you drink a cup of that, before you eat, your digestive system is going to say, "Oh, thank you, I love this," right? Because what happens is now your body starts to break the food apart. The nutrients are coming out of it. So what can happen? The lemon water can grab those and take it to the cell very fast.
Wow. I mean, I knew it was a good thing to do, but I had no idea.
Right.
What was the science behind it?
There's your science.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And when let's move that into the next step. Let's take your book, right, called
The Lemonade Stand.
The Lemonade Stand. Okay. So when you look at that, when you can take lemons, the negative emotions, the charge of an emotion that's causing an issue in life, right? Mm-hmm. So when you can take that and recognize that lemon and the sourness of it, but if you can squeeze the juice out of it into a positive force of energy, right? It will now do what? It will take and alter your acid alkaline. So it will squeeze out the toxic, turn it into something that's healthy, and carry it into every cell of your body, right?
Right.
So you can incorporate, you can transform that. And all of that leads back to what this show is all about. Becoming a better you by eating your own lemons and squeezing the juices to transform it into something positive that's going to fill your cells with something that's going to help you become healthier mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I have to digest that. I mean, like physically, mentally for a moment. That's powerful stuff.
Yeah. And she used that word digestion. Right?
Yeah, I thought that as soon as I said that, I went, yeah.
Michelle, I'm going to put this little thing up how people can get a hold of you and where can they find this book?
Okay, the book, again, called The Lemonade Stand, and it's on Amazon. And Google it. It won't be the first one that pops up, but it's about the third or the fourth one.
Okay, we got the picture up here so they can see what it looks like. They got a visual now.
All right. And so you can find it there. If you want to get in touch with me, probably the easiest way is by email. It's very simple. It's Michelle, and I have 2 L's in my name. Michelle at lemonadelegend.com.
Is that also your website, lemonadelegend.com? And they can reach you through that as well?
And it's a website. There's like a contact me. There's different buttons to connection. Because I want to hear people's stories, and I want to help them. Sometimes that they need help connecting with those stories.
And that is so true. You may not want to put your story out to the world, but you need to put it to yourself. Like you say, connect that story to yourself, because that is a piece of your identity. That's your true identity. Move out of the facade. Lie to the world. Continue lying to the world. It's okay. But stop lying to yourself.
Yeah.
right? It doesn't matter what other people think of you. It matters what you think of you. So stop lying to yourself, right?
Exactly. And doing that by embracing your story, your past, your who you are, it's the first step to self-love
Yep.
and to self-forgiveness.
Yes, and that is so relevant.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you can start forgiving yourself, it's easier to forgive others. You can't give outside of yourself what you don't have into yourself. So you can't give more love to somebody else than the love you have for yourself. You might not always like what you do or what you say or how you perform. But that's part of the journey of growth. But learning how to really love yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, makes the whole world out here change. There's that word again, change, right? And again, it takes you to a whole nother level of finding your true identity.
Yeah. And you've got and I'm speaking to the world, you've got an amazing identity.
Oh, thank you. You don't have such a bad identity yourself, right? So, Michelle, one more thing before we end the show. Just one powerful tip to leave the audience with. What's that going to be?
Oh, just one?
Yeah, just one. We'll save the rest for next time because we're going to have you back on the show.
Good. Write down your story. I mean, just write it down. Journal. I think that the minute you start putting it to paper and you take it from here, and you put it down on paper, doesn't matter if you're going to share it. Put it down. Put it in a daily journal. Sit down and purge your story. Whatever you do, write it, read it again, and read it again.
And read it again.
You will start to feel the change.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my whole body just went into chills. It really is such a personal healing. Like you say, whether you share it with anybody else doesn't matter, but you share it with yourself. The thoughts that you have, when you start putting those thoughts on paper or you start speaking those thoughts, they are so far removed from the actual perception when they're still in your head. Right? And so you put all your senses into it. Don't only just read it out loud and use these two things on the side of your head and pay attention to the words that you wrote. Listen. That's so beautiful, Michelle. And thank you again so much for being here. I've enjoyed it. And we're definitely going to have you back on. Right?
I would love that because I laughed a lot and I physically feel so good right now because we got to release, some laughter.
Yeah, that's what this show is all about, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Love it. I'll come back.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that. So for right now, we are going to say go out there and be that best you that you can be today. Why? Because Michelle and I are going to be the best we that we can be. And everyone have a great rest of your day wherever it is in the world that you are. And we will see you on the next show. Bye for now. What?